All right, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, a great millstone. Honors and salutations to all you Akim out there that's laboring in the truth and sincerity, without wavering. And as you see, I got this article here from the Business Insider. Um, Dealing with the deployment of more troops in the Middle East. You know, the Apostle Ramlev sent me another article dealing with this, and this is in the news. This is one of the things that's in the news, but of course they're not going to really blow it up. They're not going to really speak. We spoke on it on the show, New Year's Eve, a destruction show through the Spirit, but this is another part of the prophecy. So, Lord willing, this show, we're going to call it the stage is being set, or the stage is set, really. It's already set, and there's a lot of things that Esau is doing to try to hinder things, but you can never hinder prophecy, all right? Matter of fact, let me get that first. The book of Isaiah 55, started off with the scriptures. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth." This is the Most High speaking, all right? It says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." So that's what the Most High said. So if the Most High said something's going to happen, like we've been telling you what the Lord said. We told you that the Lord said he's going to destroy America. America's known in the Bible as Babylon the Great, for all the wickedness of this corporation. I don't even want to call it a country, because it's not really even a country. It's really a corporation. Everything here is about big business in America. That's the whole inception of America being created, and that's why all these other nations love America, because they could come here and, perform their businesses with America, which is that great whore, going back in the Revelations, the 17th chapter. So we told you what the Lord said about it. And the Lord said his words are not going to return it to him void. You see? So it doesn't matter what Esau does or try to downplay things, the prophecies are going to come to pass. Just like they keep seeing the chariots of the Lord. They can't not deny those, But anyway, we go back to the actual article. It says Trump deployed 750 more troops to the Middle East after an attack on the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. It says Washington charging that Iran was fully responsible. And like I said, we went into this in the other show, which that's what Esau does. Esau, always blames people. They like to point the finger, especially when the heat's on them. Just like right now, you got Donald Trump. He's in the middle of an impeachment or whatever, which doesn't mean he's going to be kicked out of there or whatever. But nonetheless, it is a lot of charges. And he got caught, with his hand in a cookie jar. But that's all of these so-called presidents and officials. So that's why Trump ain't really worried at the end of the day. They all operate under, plausible deniability, or diplomatic immunity, you see? Because you even got the same thing happening with this joke over there, Netanyahu. They threatening it. They trying to get rid of him too, impeach and bring him up on charges, and he's seeking immunity. Him and Trump is one of the same devil, and that's why the scriptures say the least of the flock should draw them out, because America and Israel go hand in hand, and there's no coincidence that Trump is facing charges just like this guy Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel today. All right, those so-called Jews. Okay, and that's why they're doing all these other diversions. They creating this whole thing, some anti-Semitism, which that's not true. What they saying, but they pushing that out there to sit there and get people minds away from what's really going on and all the corruption. Because see, all the corruption of America is boiling over. The corruption of Israel is boiling over. The other nation, a lot of these other countries, they know. They know. And even in America too. That's why you got the which they targeted the white supremacist groups and the white supremacist militias and everything. They always speak about the Zionists or the Jews, which when they refer to the Jews, they're not talking about the real Jews, which are the Negroes, so-called Negroes. They're talking about Esau, Amalek, the people that are over there that's controlling everything. These Jewish people. You got these white supremacists. They always, like they said, look, they want to get rid of the niggas and the Jews, not realizing that the so-called Negroes they talk about are the real Jews, are the real Christians, because a lot of them are bugged out in their mind. They think that they're the Christians, these KKK demons. You know what I'm saying? They think that they're the real Christians or whatever. Because why? The Most High allowed them to take us down and allowed them to enslave us. And like the scriptures tell you in Psalms the 50th chapter, verse 16 on down, it said, thou thought that I was altogether one as thyself. They thought the Most High was with them because they thought they got away with rape, robbing, and murdering us and lynching us and burning us. They didn't realize that the Lord is long suffering, and we had to fall. It had to come a falling away first, like the Apostle Paul said. You see, but now the Most High got everything right in order, and all this does is spell the end of the so-called white man, Teotwaki, the end of the world as we know it, because the scriptures tell you the earth abideth forever. All right. And then the scriptures speak about New Jerusalem coming from heaven. New Jerusalem is not talking about these so-called white people. All right. It's talking about the Israelites of the 12 tribes that we've been telling you. Those of so-called Negro, Native American, Indian descent, man, from the 12 tribes. That's New Jerusalem that's going to come back from them same chariots that you keep calling UFOs, man. Or what's the other one they say? UA, unidentified aerial phenomena, right? Those are the chariots of the Lord. So it says Washington charging that Iran was fully responsible for an attack on the U.S. embassy in Iraq. President, and see with Esau don't really need no real proof, although he could doctor up shit, you know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures tell you that he's a forger of lies. The so-called white man is the master of deception. If you ain't know that by now, then shit, I don't know where you've been at. You see, and all he does is, once you find him with one lie, he'll tell another lie. Like Christopher Columbus discovering America, at one time they made their bones on that, man, pushing that. That was taught throughout the school system. Now they act as if that never happened. Now they're trying to slowly back away from that. Because why? Everybody found out that Christopher Columbus was nothing but a bloodthirsty, murdering devil. You know what I'm saying? A foul dude, man. He was a real foul dude. Raping boys and everything. Murdering. Had syphilis, giving syphilis, He was a real foul. He was raping his own men. So now Esau, they don't want to speak about that. That's what Esau does. Because why? That scum is coming out. All of that filth, all of the wickedness that they did. So what they do is they turn everybody's attention to other things other than what's really going on. Oh, look what they're doing to these Jewish communities. They're attacking them, and then they try to tie in the Israelites because why? We're the main ones that's really putting them on blast. All right, you don't have Farrakhan. Farrakhan gives his his $1 million speech, and I mean $1 million speech because I'm sure he's getting paid millions to make appearances and everything, like he's Eddie Murphy or somebody, right? But he's not sitting there really, every once in a while he might quote something or he might say a little something towards Esau, but he's sitting up there, he's up there buddy with fact. He said one of his teachers is his best friend is a homosexual, man. So what did that tell you about Farrakhan, man? He been sold out a long time ago, and you still got a lot of you Negroes following behind him, and that's why the Lord said the slain of the Lord should be many, because two-thirds of our people are going to die here in America, man. That's why the Lord is allowing things to happen to him. The Most High is only going to deliver the elect of Israel. All right? It says about 3,000 more prepared for the possibility of deployment in the next several days. And if you signed up into to this war, then you are going to, not to this war, pardon me, I said it the wrong way. If you signed up into the military, whether it's Navy, Army, you are going to be sent out there, man. You are going to be sent out there to battle. You're going to be sent out there to Iraq, Afghanistan. Some of you are going to be sent to Iran, all right? That Middle East, you see, which is the Valley of Jehoshaphat, you see, which means Yahweh Shaphat. All right, but this is the Most High, because the scriptures say the Lord of hosts mustereth to the battle, right? So now, real quick, let's see, I go back to Revelation is the 16th chapter, right? It goes into it too. It goes into the whole destruction of America, which overall is going to be capped off by the nuclear destruction, you see? And so everything that's happening now is just the stages leading up into this final war. And this will truly, although, yeah, they say World War One, World War Three, after these nuclear missiles are set off, there's nothing else after that, man. You see? And remember, the Lord said in Isaiah that he created the waste to destroy. The Lord put it in these scientists to figure out how to make these missiles. But then the Most High said, according to the prophecy, everything is according to prophecy, man. Spirit had Apostle Charles said 2020, the year of prophecy. And that's true. You got Esau even trying to, check their prophecies, talk about what things were true for 2020 and what wasn't. And Bill Gates got this right. Well, first of all, Bill Gates was an insider. You understand? He's part of he's part of the Illuminati. And the rest of they lesser luminaries, but nonetheless, they still insiders, you see? But anyway, let me jump right straight to it. Start at 12. Saying the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, okay, which is over there in the Middle East, and the waters there was dried up. And what that's going into the missiles, because when those missiles hit, the fire and the heat from it is going to dry up certain rivers and poison other rivers as well with the nuclear, the nuclear fallout. Pardon me. All right. It says, in the waters there was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So that's what's happening now. The kings of the east. And who are some of these kings of the east? Netanyahu, you call him even though these are all figureheads and puppets, but over there in Israel, he's the prime minister, and that's why he keeps doing strikes on Afghanistan, the Gaza Strip, talking about he's hitting Hamas targets or whatever. You understand? And it is a joke. That's why I'm laughing, because they showed, I can't remember the movie it was, man. They showed you that Esau, how they filmed this guy, act like he was this terrorist, looked like Saddam Hussein or whatever. Then after the cameras cut off, the dude spoke straight up. Like he had like a British accent, if I remember right. He was sitting there sipping wine. He was an actor. He was a goddamn actor, man. All of these so-called terrorists, a lot of them be actors, man. And then you find out a lot of them trained and went to school over in the United States. They speak better English than a so-called American. You understand? But that's that's what Esau does, man. You see? But nonetheless, it's spiritual, because the Most High is going to make this thing happen according to his will. So Esau think that he's staging a war, going over there starting shit with people. No, the Most High got these things happening, man. All right? And then what's going to happen is what? Ezekiel, was it the 38th chapter? About with Russia, Gog and Magog, be thou a guard unto them, to these other countries. So by Trump sending troops out over there to Iraq, that's what, when you read in the article, Lord willing, if I get a chance. If not, you brothers could check it out. It's out there already. But it says people believe that that's where the troops are going, is to Iraq, because of that so-called situation that just happened over there. So it says that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared, which this links up with Isaiah, the 14th chapter as well. It stir up the, matter of fact, let me just go there real quick so I can get the quote. Isaiah 14. Where is it at? Right here we go. Isaiah 14:9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. So in other words, hell representing destruction. All right. And because Esau was used to bringing the ruckus, bringing the destruction. He was used to bombing all these other different nations and everything. But now it's to the point where now Esau is about to be met by this destruction. You see, meaning he's not going to win this war. All right. He will suffer. He's going to be captured. And that's why they're hesitant to a degree, because they know that it's not like 30, 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the Cold War days, or, even prior to this. This ain't the World War II days. You got these other nations that got the arsenal, you see? And that's the prophecy. When you read this chapter, Isaiah the 14th chapter, it breaks it down. So yeah, it is according to the prophecy. That's why these things are happening. You got people that's thinking that they're signing up into the army just to get a, I'm gonna get an education. It makes sense. Oh, I have no father figure. Oh, I need structure in my life. Oh, I love this country. I'm patriotic. No, look, the scriptures say the mighty men of Babylon been foreborn to fight. That's why you're in the service. And that's why we tell you, brothers, don't, man, what the hell are you doing in this devil's army? And you will figure after all the movies and everything, the documentaries that come out, and not only how they treated the Jake soldiers, Israelite soldiers after Vietnam and all these other wars, right? That's why you had a lot of, what do you call it? Marches and protests going back in the 60s, 70s and everything like that, right? And then they show you even also with the so-called white soldiers as well. They treated them like shit. What was that movie, Born on the 4th of July or whatever? They show you, go by the VA hospitals. They treat a lot of them so-called soldiers, the people that, quote unquote, put their life on the line for this country to have whatever so-called freedom that they think they have, the right for people to be a bunch of fucking freaks and pedophiles, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers trying to scoop, niggas told they scooping chicks off of the train and picking, all this wild shit. But these people that so-called fought for this, right, that risked their lives and watched their comrades die in these other countries, they treat it like shit. So why would you want to join an army? They show you, and at the most, you might get a 21 gun salute. You might get a folded up flag. They might bring a flag to your wife. A lot of times, a lot of because a lot of women, women is opportunists. We know that, right? Even the women we get with or whatever, it's all a game, you see, at the end of the day, because why? They're into this society, and this society promotes that, right? So you have these women that get a young nigga, and I've seen it happen firsthand, plenty of times, and they'll sit there, get with a nigga, he be simple, I don't know what to do with my life, or what, why don't you do something special? She might talk him into it, or he might make mention of it, and she'd be like, yeah, go sign up, because they have good benefits. Meanwhile, while you do that, I'll finish my school, or whatever, and you finish your tour, and we could find blah, 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 rock him to sleep, and niggas would be simple, right? The nigga get a pregnant, nigga, she have him marry her, and then he goes over there. If he escapes, he comes back, she's fucking somebody else. All right? But now say he don't escape, something happens to him over there. Legally, she's married to him. She's supposed to get the benefits. A lot of times it don't happen that way. You got a lot of women, so-called widows, I wish I could think of the name of them, but warriors, widow, certain veterans, wives who are still going to court and fighting, trying to get the benefits from their husbands that died in these different wars, man. I mean, you can look it up. So that goes on a lot. So the whole point is there's really no overall, I mean, maybe short term, there are people that benefit. They get little perks. They get, what they call it, subsidized housing or whatever. They get these little cuts. You can get a card, your credit. You get a check every month or whatever, right? So you ain't doing as bad as the next man, but at the end of the day, it's not worth it because you're going to lose your life. This thing is real. You see, this article, see these people, some of the 750 soldiers, they probably didn't think that they were actually going to get sent over to actually into a combat zone. They might have figured, yeah, we're going to do some tours and do some work and help build these pipelines and this and that. No, when you sign up in there, that's it, man. You GI, government issue. You do whatever the fuck they tell you. They go stand in front of a fucking grenade. You got to go stand in front of a grenade knowing that you're going to die. All right? It says, no U.S. casualties or evacuations were reported after the attack Tuesday by dozens of Iran-supported militiamen. U.S. Marines were sent from Kuwait to reinforce the compound. See, because Esau already, and it tells you, he can't, that's how we know that he's Esau. Esau gives it up. I don't even know why he argues with us over him being an Edomite. All right? He does everything. You see what they do, They prove that they're the wicked, that they're the devil. They don't need us. We're the mouthpiece of the Lord. So, yeah, of course we say it, but you don't need it. The proof is in your work. Everything that these devils do show that they're the devil, that they're the wicked, that they're Edomites, that they're Esau. That they look at them. They got troops and soldiers all over the world, man. You see? Now, oh yeah, slack your brothers. Go back to Revelations. So it says 13. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Yeah, which goes tied back into the so-called white man. All right, the beast, of course, we know being NATO, the revitalization of the Roman Empire, the false prophet, which is the Roman Catholic Church. And it's spiritual, the Most High is making that whole Roman Catholic Church crumble, man. For years, they paid, it's to the point now, they can't even pay nobody off. They said they're not going to, what was it, Crima Solicitatis? You know, Elder Tiles used to go into that thing that they used to do. They used to give them choir boys hush money for them, you know, taking their goodies. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point now, they said we're not doing that no more because it's all exposed. Everybody know what the Roman Catholic Church is really all about, man. You see? Even the so-called devout Roman Catholic, they got to admit to it, you see? Because it's well known, you see? And then Esau, being, you know, the ringleader of NATO, they're the ones that's going around starting these different wars. You see Trump, I promise you, he said this is not a threat, it's a warning. I mean, not a warning, it's a threat. Trump is sending out threats. He's talking shit like he's, you know, Al Capone or somebody, man. You see? Because why? One, it's in their power to do so. And furthermore, it's prophecy. At the end of the day, they're going to clash at some point. You got all these world leaders sitting there meeting with each other, taking pictures, right? Have these different summit meetings and whatever meetings they have. But at the end of the day, the scriptures say, though they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh. Eventually, they are going to get it on, even though they all know each other. Because why? It's the Spirit of the Lord that's going to move on these devils for them to start fighting against each other. All right? So it says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, right? Which, with the weaponry and everything they do, that's how they had the world in awe of them, man. Shock and awe, right? With all the different bombs and that's what this devil does, man. That's what he does. And now they got it to the point where they could send in drones to go in there and fight you. They want to send in drones to like so-called prisoners of war or whatever. Or like if you got an American spy and you caught him and you got him locked up in a cell in Russia or Germany, now they got it to where they could send a damn reconnaissance mission of robots in here to come, you know? So that's how this devil is, man. That's the miracle is technology. But now we at the point where the Lord is going to have his technology fell him. And they show you that in a lot of these movies, which that'd be the Spirit of the Lord working on them, where a lot of these robots, they show them that they all start backfiring on them. iRobot with the Will Smith movie. There's another one. It's at the tip of my tongue, but when you see these movies, they show you, you know, and the robots end up they got to sit there and try to short circuit or destroy the robots before they kill them. You know, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they show you that, you know. It says, which go forth unto the kings of the earth, which we just read about in Isaiah 14, and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Almighty. See? That's what this is all about. So that's why I called it the stage is set. Because at the end of the day, even if everything so-called smooths out, okay, we ended the resistance at the U.S. Embassy, everybody's safe, you know, we're gonna send them. Because a lot of times they don't once they deploy you, they just send you somewhere else, you know, unless it's, you know, your tour is finished and it's time for you to come back home for a little bit, then they might let you come back. But as things intensify, even people that ended their tour, they're gonna be like, well, we need you. Sorry. We know that, 2020 you was hoping to come home to see your newborn baby, but we gotta send you out there for another 8 months back to Iraq, back to Afghanistan. And you're gonna be like, oh shit, basically I might not. Yeah. That's how real is getting. So it says, behold, I come as a thief. This is the Lord. I come as a thief because why? Everybody fell asleep. People don't really think that the Lord is coming back. Now Esau, that's why they setting up these space programs and these lasers in outer space, because they actually getting ready to fight the Lord Yahushua when he come back. But Yahushua don't kill these devils, man. They ain't gonna be no match for the Lord in his second coming. Watch. You're gonna see who the power is. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment. So that's what we got to fight to do, to keep watching, watch as well as pray. So that's why the Spirit get on brothers from the apostles and elders and other brothers to do, we get these articles and go into it, because, hey, that's part of being a watchman. It said, and keepeth his garments, man, meaning we walk spiritually, walk in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Least he walk naked and they see his shame. Yeah, because once you outside this knowledge, once you stop doing the work of the Lord, then you're naked, man. Okay, the garments it's not talking about the actual, because you got a lot of stupid ass dumb niggas, retarded little imp ass niggas that actually think by wearing a garment, that's what makes you an Israelite, They want to sit there and talk about brothers' garments and stuff, because hey, brother, at the end of the day, you just put a garment on, as long as you got a border, a blue with fringes, that's it. You understand? You ain't gotta have it all nice. What good is it? You have a nice garment, you got your garment all pressed up and everything. We had war. That show you fucking reprobate niggas. But here it is, you're gonna have the nicest garment with the sharpest crease, and you're gonna get burnt up anyway by the missiles, because you a demon anyway, man. All right? You a demon anyway, man. The Most High gonna get rid of all you little critters, man. And you gotta be there. You gotta be there. You gotta be you need scoffers. You understand? But the garments is talking about the knowledge, man. That's what, and the thing is, you don't have the garment on. You don't have a garment on. You're naked. And it shows in what? In your work. You see these clowns, you have a lot of these clowns, they'll pop up one minute, then you don't see them the next minute. Then when something break out, then they try to pop back on the scene. But where's your work at? Where's your work at for whatever time that you claim? Because you got guys that claim, well, I'll go back to One West. I've been in the truth from 40, 50 years. Where's your work at then? Where's your work? You see? You saying that you was this great big Israel. Surely, if the Lord was with you all them 40, 50 years, you should have a big-ass congregation. You should have woken up all kind of brothers, hundreds of thousands of brothers. You should have been teaching here, teaching there. Hell, you should have hundreds of garments. You this big, super dynamic Israelite. See, a lot of niggas is just that full of shit, man. And the Lord gonna get these little grimy ass niggas. But anyway, the garments is speaking about the knowledge. That's what it's talking about. All right, keeping this garment, meaning you got to stay in the truth, in the fold. Keep this knowledge. Don't sit there and blaspheme. Don't sit there and teach about other names other than the Most High, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai. Because when you start talking about all these other false deities, Allah, Yeshua, Haya, and Yeshua, Yahweh, then you don't got the garment on. You start saying you can eat pork, you don't got the garment on. You start saying a man don't have to grow his beard, you can line it up. You ain't got the garment on really, man. You see? You say, oh, we don't got to go out and teach on the streets. We don't got to camp. You ain't got the garments on. That's what the Lord commanded us to do. That's one of the, how you think this, and the thing is, a lot of guys that say that are the same guys that came in through the camp speakers or seeing somebody on the street speaking. But they'll say, we're not in the time of going on the street speaking. We're not in the time of camps. We're not, because why? Well, a lot of you are bugged down. You're just not the men of the Lord anyway. You see? So that's why, the Most High put that spirit on you where you think you don't have to go out there in the streets. Oh, it's cold. It's the winter time. We ain't supposed to be out there in the winter time. Now, if you're doing that, then that means that you a false prophet. Okay? Again, you ain't got the garment on. The scripture said, go to the ant, thou sluggard. The scripture says a sluggard will not plow by the reason of it being too cold. All right? So that, we already know who the men of the Lord are and who the men of the Lord are not. And everybody else know. And deep down in a lot of these bug outs' mind, they know that they're not men of the Lord, man. You see? It says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon or Harmageddon, right, which means Mount of Troops. Armageddon simply means Mount of Truth. See, in Esau, they'll sit there and try to have you think like Armageddon, oh yeah, that's talking about the apocalyptic end destruction. It means Mount of the Troops. And that's what you see happening right here with the deployment of these soldiers right here that Trump deployed the other day, January 1st, showing you how this this so-called New Year is being kicked off, which is the Spirit Guide Apostle Todd called the year of prophecy. So there you have it. That's part of the prophecy right there. These troops being sent out there. But anyway, like, as always, give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And to you sincere Akim out there, Lord willing, you were edified. And I say shalom.